Welcome and good evening. This is Full News. I'm Daniela Romero coming to you live from Full University for this special crime report. Over the past weeks, our campus has been plagued by a series of disturbing incidents that have led students and faculty feeling violated and unsafe. Let's start with the first crime. A laptop theft from one of our school's classrooms during lecture hours. According to witness statements, an unknown individual seemingly walked away into their room and slipped away with a student's laptop, while their bike was turned. If only one had implemented security cameras in these spaces, we might have footage to find and apprehend the culprit. Sadly, without the digital evidence trial, this criminal has managed to get away with the stolen goods for now. Campus police are still investigating, but valuables going missing is always a major concern, especially in an environment that should be secure for focused learning. All current leads have hit head, death, and so far. If any of our viewers have any information that could aid this laptop case, I urge you to contact the authorities at once. This blatant laptop theft committed in broad daylight is a slap in the face to the principals. We uphold this esteemed university. A classroom is supposed to be an invaluable space dedicated purely to learning and mental enrichment. For a thief to intrude into this sanctum and violate it by stealing a student's laptop, a vital tool for their students, is unacceptable on every level. Not only does such a crime stand for a major violation of property and trust, but it disrupts the very reason we exist as an institution. How can we expect our students to focus on expanding their knowledge when they must live in constant fear of having their belongings and work snatched away right before their eyes? This incident has undoubtedly left the entire student's body on edge and feeling incredibly vulnerable in the spaces that should be their safe havens. The fact that the perpetrator was seemingly able to walk in, commit this act, and disappear without a trace is the most galling part. If we had proper security measures like surveillance cameras installed, there is a far better chance the criminal could have been found and apprehended swiftly. As it stands, campus security has hit a dead end their investigations due to lack of evidence. This cannot become a static or just another report number in campus crime logs. It is a much larger systems issue we have failed to address. The lack of robust security infrastructure and protocols to protect our students' belongings and sense of security. We owe it to our scholarly community to implement whatever technological and logistical measures are needed to transform our classrooms into impenetrable fortresses, where no thief or ill intent can disrupt the sacred act of learning. Until we take concrete action to install monitoring systems and secure access control, we are leaving our facilities vulnerable to be violated by criminal opportunities. The damage caused by this incident goes beyond the financial cost of replacing the stolen laptop. We must work to reestablish trust that our classrooms are allowed grounds for education alone, not places where one must fear having their possessions and peace of mind taken from them as well. Switching gears now to Majo, who has more on another disturbing act of crime and vandalism that occurred on university grounds just days ago. Majo?
That's right, Danny. Thank you. In an appalling incident, the hallowed walls of our very own campus library were defaced with graffiti and burglary taken over the weekend. The bandits struck under the cover of night, spray painting inappropriate images and words that are an insult to the value we place on education and scholarship here. If only the library had adequate security monitoring and lighting throughout, this act of vandalism targeting a central study space and resource for students could potentially have been prevented. As of now, there are no suspects, and the library has forced to close for 2 days to allow cleanup and restoration efforts. The blatant desperation here is disheartening to say the least. A library is a temple of knowledge and should be treated as hallowed ground on any academic institution campus. If you were in the vicinity over the weekend and saw any suspicious individuals or activity around the library's perimeter, campus our security needs to hear from you. Books and computers may have been spared, but having to divert funds, time and effort to remove this visual defacement is a dull consequence. The university has a zero tolerance stance on hate speech, discrimination, and property damage like this. To hear of the unconscionable defacement of our revered university library cuts me to my core. This architectural jewel that stands as the literal and metaphorical centerpiece of scholarly pursuit on our campus has been violated in one of the most disrespectful ways imaginable. For bandits to have spray painted their hateful graffiti and imagery onto the sacrosanct walls of the library is not just property damage. If the secrets everything this emblematic building is. A library is a temple to knowledge, reason, and the enlightened ideals humanity strives toward. The stacks contained within those hallowed halls are an almost spiritual collection of the greatest thoughts, discoveries, and creative works contributed across geography and history to the field choose a space with meaningless scribbles and profane symbolism shows a severe disconnect from the very purpose of why institutions like ours exist. That these criminal vandals seemingly operate under cover of darkness when the library security seems at their weakest point only compounds my anger and sadness. If the facility had more robust surveillance monitoring and adequate lighting to cut blind spots, this attack could potentially have been pretended or the culprits quickly found. Instead, Bristol's academic resource was made temporarily inaccessible while painstaking cleanup and restoration efforts were undertaken. My heart goes out to the students and scholars who depend on our library service and materials to further their research and academic pursuits. To have their right temporarily revoked because of a senseless act of hooliganism is a grave injustice. This was not just an attack on property, but on the intellectual freedom and open access to information that any advanced society is predicated upon. I shudder to think of how much inavailable knowledge had to be shielded from view and handled with immense care during the decontamination process. Each book is antiquated periodicity above all of removal for the stain spray painting, big growth trees, and inadequate imagery. The very thought of precious manuscripts being in even transient proximity to such ignorant desecration should bring any civilized person to resolving the contamination. There is no justification, no mitigating circumstance that excuse this act. It is the lowest, most base impulses of human behavior, the compulsion to destroy and defile institution of wisdom and enlightenment. We cannot let this egregious act demoralize us. However, we must meet it with enhanced security provisions and reaffirmed commitment to searching our library as the jewel of freedom that it is. Only through remaining vigilant and doubling our efforts to protect these sanctuaries of knowledge can we ensure such a transition never again occurs within our hallowed space. I'll send it over to Sophie now, who has the scope on a financial scam that project on our international study community. Sophie?
Thanks, Maho. In a case that came to light used this week, a sophisticated phishing scam has illegally targeted and defrauded several international students enrolled at our university. The scammers used the sending official looking correspondence masquerading as University Financial Administration, demanding payment for fictional fees and outstanding balance. If only students had verified the authenticity of this message, they would not have been decided into transferring funds that potential ran into the thousands. As it stands, campus authorities are working with cybersecurity consultants and FBI to track down these criminal operators, likely based overseas. International students already navigate a Schengen environment being away from home in a new country. If you or someone you know has been affected by this scheme scam, it's crucial that you come forward so we can build a stronger case. The final crime we'll touch on today is the theft of bicycle from one of our campus racks during broad daylight. A daring thief Brazilian cut truck looks and made of with a green and black trailblazing mountain bike belonging to a student. If you meet any suspicious individuals trying to sell off this bike or similar ones, please contact campus police at once. Petty theft scams vandalism or university has faced an unseemly variety of crimes these semesters that chip away at the safe environment we strive to support for our pupils. Rest Assured's investigations are ongoing and the news of this insidious phishing scam specifically targeted our international students populations fill me with a combination of sorrows, anger and determination to rectify how such a despicable crime could occur. To be a young scholar living the comfort of your home country to pursue higher education in a new land is an immense act of bravery and tears for growth already. These idealistic pupils have forsake the familiarity of their surroundings to expose themselves to new perspectives and ways of thinking, allowing demonstration of the open mind intellectualism we cultivate here. For their courageous journey, then betrayed by relentless cybercriminals, preying on any perceived vulnerability is a moral crime of staggering indecency. That these operators have effectively robbed international students of thousands of dollars through clever deception is horrific enough, but they have also irreparably shaken the senses of trust and security these young people need to feel to embrace their adopted academic environments fully. I can scarcely fathom the fear and confusion they must have experienced often received through machine careful communication appearing to be official university correspondence demanding fictitious payments and fees. The pressure and high stakes of disabled any institutionally portrayed order can be especially intimidating for international pupils unfamiliar with the country's protocols and power structures. To be manipulated into draining their limited funds, which could be years' worth of wages from their home country, is a cruelty that should be universally condemned. That this exploitation was perpetrated remotely by criminals overseas makes outraging it more chilling from jurisdiction perspective. However, we as university must use all resources and coordinate efforts with cybersecurity professionals and federal authorities to disseminate these indigenous operations and recover any ill-gotten funds still possible. More stringent verification systems and elevate digital literacy training for worse students also need to be urgently implemented. Beyond this tactical measure, we must also strive to review the fight and sense of inclusion these young people come here looking for. We cannot let the inconceivable acts of a few faceless fraudsters reinforce stereotypes that university environments like ours are readily with potential threats awaiting Navy foreign newcomers. Our international community embodies the enlightened devices of talk that elevates academia as a societal pillar. To have that precious commodity dimension stroke exploitation is an attack on the intellectual progress we enshrine. We will not tolerate this sort of predator action toward any members of our campus community, foreign or domestic, but we must go beyond restoring a basic sense of community safety. It is imperative we reaffirm a complete climate of belonging where all students feel equally embraced to collaborate in the intrepid journey of expanding humans' knowledge by prejudice or trees of any kind. Only through such a unified state can we prevail against things those who would look to corrupt and undermine or hang academic killings. Overall, recent crimes like vandalism, theft, financial scams highlight critical vulnerabilities and gaps in security protocols. Implementing robust security systems procedures, and more engagement with law enforcement is crucial to restoring a secure environment for the university community. These incidents underscores the need for the university administration to prioritize the safety, security, and peace of mind for students, faculty, and staff as its utmost responsibility.